So, namaste, hola, good evening, vanakkam to all the distinguished guests attending from India or abroad. We extend our cordial, warm regards to everyone to join this session, which is going to be the last session of Pragya CS Studio for this season. And we'll be stopping for a while, and let's see, we'll do maybe something else also. So welcome Sister Zina, Sister Marilyn, Sister Swati, Brother Jackmaji, all welcome. So as you know, today is a very special session, which is just the second in its series. Earlier we had the session with the President, Mr. Tim Boyd, a cup of tea, Osophy, and today we will be having the same interactive session with Dr. Deepa Padhi. Although it's a recorded session, but I hope everyone will get some pulse of wisdom or some inspiration from that. But before we start our session, let us all come together in heart and mind and invoke the presence of that immutable principle in which we live, we move, and have our being. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May all who feel themselves as one with thee know they are therefore one with every other. Thank you and welcome once again. And we extend our cordial wishes on the occasion of World Environment Day today. And today we had a session of Young Indian Theosophists also, in which we saw and listened to the ideas of very young Indian Theosophists about the environment, and it was very, very inspiring session. So it is our request that we do not leave the looking after of environment for one day, but throughout the year, through our acts and through our deeds, we continue to take care of the environment. And with this note, let me introduce today's our very special guest, Dr. Deepa Padhi. She has joined just now on the Zoom meeting also, so we welcome her on behalf of Pragya CS Studio and all the delegates. Dr. Deepa Padhi, currently the International Vice President of the Theosophical Society, ADR, is a retired professor of philosophy. Her work as a postdoctoral research scholar was Live and Let Live, which was an analytical study in holistic ethics. Dr. Padhi wrote the ethical philosophy of the Bhagavad-Gita and edited a book on women's issues, Yes, She Can. She writes on social, philosophical, theosophical, and spiritual issues for magazines and journals. Dr. Padhi joined the Theosophical Society in 1994, and I think it's needless to say that if we can see the influence of Theosophy in everything that she does, and that comes from her family, because I think she has received Theosophy as a part of inheritance from her parents. And that we'll come to know when we talk to her. She joined the Theosophical Society in 1994. She joined the Theosophical Order of Service in 2006. And in 2012, the Mahabharata group of Theosophical Order of Service in Odisha, she started the project to change the mindset to stop violence against women. She is associated with orphanages, old age homes, institutions taking care of women. She believes in practical theosophy, which to her is the real spiritual self-transformation, and that we can achieve through service. So, without further ado, let us listen to Dr. Deepa Padhi's view and all the questions sharing with us regarding her journey, spiritual as personal journey.
This meeting is being recorded.
Well, so welcome everyone to this special session of A Cup of Theosophy with our dear Vice President, International Vice President of the Theosophical Society, Dr. Deepa Padhi. Now beginning with our dialogue, we want to know, dear Deepaji, how did you come in touch with Theosophy? Please.
Let me first congratulate you both, Shikhar and Catalina, for this wonderful idea of Theosophy, Theosophical Chat with a cup of tea. That's really a great idea. And also I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some of my ideas with you and others. So let me now answer your question. Well, I'm a second generation Theosophist. My father, late Dr. Ramchandra Ratha, was an ardent Theosophist and had founded the Utkal Theosophical Federation in Odisha in 1965. But he never imposed on me or any one of his 7 children to join Theosophical Society. He used to say that imposition on anyone to become a member is against the principles of TS. But in due course of time, 5 out of his 7 children joined Theosophy by their own choice. As a young girl, I had seen Radha Vanier, Rohit Mehta, and others, dedicated Theosophists, coming to our house during their visit to Odisha for annual federation conferences. Every year we used to have annual conference. And I remember hidden behind the curtains how I used to listen to their discussions on theosophical and philosophical concepts. Though I was not able to understand much of it, but the concepts like karma, reincarnation, yoga did fascinate me a lot, and as a result led me to take philosophy in my graduation and also post-graduation. In 1968, I had been to Adyar with my parents to attend the conference. At that time, I was in college. Sriram was then the international president. His divine aura and speeches had created an indelible impression in my mind. As a result, I started reading theosophical literature, and later in my life, I joined Theosophy in 1994.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deepaji, for that background of your theosophical approach to life. And really, I think, as you said, your father implemented that we should not impose the thought, and that's what became the push for the 5 of your siblings to join the Theosophical Society. And I think you have already answered our next question, but still I am going to ask you, because when you said that you came in touch with the shining bright, magnetic aura of N. Sri Ramji, you felt that, inspiration. So, because it is a human tendency to draw conclusions or compare the choices in whatever we do. So after coming in touch with Theosophy, can you share one or two events or insights which come to your mind that led you to realize that you have made the right choice by joining the TS?
Yes. Yes, there was a time when I had to put into practice the theosophical concepts. That was when my eldest son, 34 years old, passed away in 2008 by a massive heart attack while working in Hyderabad. After hearing this shattering news, first thing I told my husband was to tell the doctors in Hyderabad to donate his two eyes to two blind children. I was calm and composed, accepting humbly my prarabdha karma and respecting the law of karma. After 2 weeks, I received a letter from Hyderabad hospital that my son's two eyes were donated to two blind children, one boy and one girl. My inner self felt blissful due to the fact that though my son could not see this beautiful world any longer, his two eyes in two different beings would enable them to see this wonderful creation of God. Another, and well, uh, this is, I thought, this was possible because of my theosophical inclination. I'm grateful to our masters. Second event occurred in 2013 when I was invited to TS America to present a paper on change the mindset to stop violence against women and women empowerment in their summer convention in Wheaton, Chicago, that is Illinois. My husband was with me. When we reached the headquarters, opened the door to the men room, I felt everything so familiar. The layout of the room, the corridor of the upstairs, the lecture hall, and some of the Western TS members whom I had never seen before appeared very much familiar to me. I immediately shared my thoughts with my husband. I felt, what am I doing there in Odisha? This is my workplace. And I felt I had worked here before. Some 6 to 7 members whom I met there for the first time appeared to me as if I knew them earlier. Since then, we became very good friends also and are continuing to be so. This incident made me think that because of Theosophical Society, I could meet my old friends and old workplace as we believe in karma and reincarnation.
Yes, actually, that's kind of the links and net that we discover through our lives, that we have a biggest family. And regarding the first experience you share, it's really amazing and deep how theosophical teachings led us to see the life in a deeper way, in a wider way, and see the whole picture. But understanding and really being able to put that into practice is what really makes theosophy a living principle in our life. And it's really, we really appreciate this sharing of you, because this inspires us so much to see every event in life in the real dimension and the importance that it has to our journey of growth and evolution. So thank you very much, dear Deepa, Padhi, for sharing these two events and inspiring us through them. And indeed, you have had a very long journey as Theosophies, as you not only as you grew up in a theosophical family inspired by the power of the example of your father, but also Since you joined the Theosophical Society, you have been a very, very active member. And from some years ago, you have been acting not only in TOS, but as the Vice President, International Vice President of the Theosophical Society. And we would like to know how has been this journey till now as International Vice President of the Theosophical Society?
Yes, it has been a great experience, no doubt, and learning process for me. I tried to combine the works of both TS and TOS and found the result is amazing. One thing I have understood being active in both TS and TOS, that through compassion, empathy, and love for others, not necessarily love for human beings only, it could be for plants and animals, it becomes easier to understand and feel the oneness of life. Head, heart, and hand. This trinity of tools is necessary for achieving the goal. This position has also given me an opportunity to travel different countries and to get connected with TS members of different parts of the world and share our philosophical teachings with them. This is what, it's a great experience, I would say.
Now, as the saying goes, that the hardworking people gets rewarded by more work. So I think you have been had a blessing that since you have been working so much, you have been given this such a important duty, as you say, to meet so many people within Theosophical circle and outside around the world in this relation. And I think you have already mentioned the importance of compassion and love in a human being for all manifestation. And we study that each person has his or her own understanding of things, whether it is material world or spiritual. And especially in these times when in the name of spirituality, so many misadventures, so many experiments, so many exploitations are happening. Would you like to share with us what is your definition of spiritual life?
Oh, well, the word spirituality in Sanskrit, means adhyatmikata, derived from the word spirit or self, which in Sanskrit means atma. Adhi plus atmikata is equal to adhyatmikata. Adi means near, atmikata means relating to self or spirit. Therefore, spirituality means connectedness with the self. It means believing that there is some power beyond physical body, sense organs, and mind, which is our innermost self. In order to live a spiritual life, one must first understand that life is one. It is the same in every living being. Once it is realized, the inner positive or the divine qualities get manifested in our behavior. Spirituality provides an awareness of cosmic family based on love, compassion, and oneness. I would like to mention here that most of the people confuse spirituality with religion. Religion is based on faith. Spirituality is based on wisdom. Spirituality, I would say, is universal, whereas religion is communal belief or faith. Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad were religious teachers, whereas Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Vivekananda, Ramana Maharshi, Shirdi Sai Baba were spiritual teachers. They never preached religion. This is what I mean by spirituality.
Thank you for that insightful sharing. And actually, with the spiritual practice, right now we are living in the 21st century that has a lot of events, is rushes, and we could say many distractions, maybe for a spiritual aspirant. And from your spiritual experience, from your spiritual practice and all the insights that you have had as a student of Theosophy and a practitioner of Theosophy, what advice will you give to an aspirant that is struggling with the distractions of this 21st century?
Yes.
Please share with us.
My advice would be to go within and spend some time with the inner self. Try to listen to the inner voice by avoiding the noise of the outer world. This is the beginning of meditation. And this gives energy, strength, self-confidence to face this challenging world. It is only through spiritual power one can win the distractions of the outer world. Madame Blavatsky had already suggested the solution when she had advised to study, meditate, and serve. This is the only way, we have to go within.
Yes, I think that's that as it is said in the Vedas, there is no other path to go. Nanya Pantha. So
Yes.
So, and within only, I think, as you said about the spiritual life, Adhi Atma. So becoming close, when we go within, we can become close to our Atma, and that's where we find all the solutions. So, and I think, as you mentioned already, that you have been studying Theosophical literature for quite some time and many other books. And we know that you are not just an avid reader, but also a great author. So you might have come across various books and literature and text, but we are going to ask you a very difficult question, that among those books, could you share with us which one, or okay, maximum two, is your favorite book, and which is the one that you would recommend to somebody who is trying to walk this path?
Really, though difficult to understand, still I would say the Sacred Doctrine by H.P. Blavatsky is the best. In fact, there are many books which are dear to me, like The Voice of Silence, Key to Theosophy, At the Feet of the Master, and some more. But as a beginner, one should start with the Key to Theosophy. And there are so many books, it is difficult to enumerate. So many books.
Yes, totally right. Sometimes, also sometimes it depends, on one moment of the life that we read a book, and maybe that book touches us in that specific moment. But of course, as you have mentioned, there are those kind of books that are like always a source of inspiration, a source of possibilities to learn, to experience, to study, and for sure, the Secret Doctrine is one of them.
Excuse me. Here I can also say that Bhagavad-Gita is also one, which I had missed out. That is the number one.
Yes, yes. And especially when I think I was reading about, you have made some text or kind of comments on, yes. So I was.
My PhD topic was that, ethical philosophy.
Wow, that's really nice.
Amazing.
Amazing.
That is really, really nice. Yes, we we could say many other books. And you have mentioned I mean, we know that you actively work with the Theosophical Order of Service, as you also have mentioned a couple of minutes back. And what do you think is the value of Theosophical Order of Service in this spiritual path that members of TS are pursuing?
To me, TS and TOS are like two sides of a coin. Both are required for the attainment of spiritual goal. The basic requirement of TOS is selfless service to the suffering beings. This selflessness, I would say, is the quality which distinguishes TOS from other philanthropic organizations, like Rotary, Lions, and many other philanthropic organizations are there. But it is different. In TOS, there is no selfish agenda, no hidden intention for promoting oneself. Service here is spiritualized. Selflessness owing to no individual self, except only one self with capital S, which is manifested in every individual. I can be selfless only when I consider other self as my own and their pain and sufferings as mine. I remember the saying of Mahatma Gandhi, uh, uh, if you want to find yourself, lose yourself in the service of others. So without service, no knowledge is possible. There was an ashram where a guru and his disciple used to stay. One day the disciple asked his guru, "Sir, I have been doing all that you had taught me, like study of scriptures, yoga, meditation, for so many years. Still, I do not find any spiritual progress in me. What do I do?" The master smiled and said, "You need to do more service." Well, a synthesis of knowledge, that is jnana, service, that is karma, and devotion, that is faith, is necessary while treading the spiritual path. To Madame Blavatsky and Annie Besant, altruism, which is selflessness, is the key to theosophy.
Yes, yes. I think very important aspect that you have raised, Deepaji, and I think many of our uh, viewers and the audience would may have this clarified, because sometimes they ask this question: what is the difference between TOS and other charity organizations, and what is the difference? And you have very clearly mentioned that selflessness is the key, and nobody is promoting oneself here, and how service in action, putting good thoughts in action, is the essence of theosophy, altruism. And that is what the education should teach us as human beings, because education plays a very vital role in the development of human mind, which decides the future of humankind in this world. And with the way the things are going currently over a long period of time, we can say that the education system that we have had has obviously failed, or not, it has not been a successful one. And it's only adding to more and more challenges of the world. And also we know that Theosophical Society has started this education as service with their pilot project in Chennai as Arya Theosophical Academy, and with Golden Link schools in Philippines. So what do you think is the value of theosophical education for the 21st century?
Yes, it's a very, very pertinent question. Uh, the objective of the Theosophical Society, is to bring about transformation of the individual and consequently the society. For this, what is necessary is education. Education not for money making, but for man making. HPB used to say that the children should be taught self-reliance, love for all beings, forgiveness, kindness, charity. Above all, they should be unselfish and feel free intellectually. There must be, freedom of thought. That is most important. This is possible if theosophical education is given to the children at a very young age. Transformation means a change from a lower level to a higher state of being, which is more holistic, involving higher faculties such as higher mind and intuition. For example, appreciating nature, understanding the value of love, compassion and empathy, etc. These are not there in today's educational curriculum, but found in theosophical education. ATA, that is Adair Theosophical Academy, is one which imparts such education. This helps in balancing the life in the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels.
Yes, yes. Actually, the value of theosophical education is a very important way of transforming this reality, this world. And of course, beginning since, like Anibesan used to say, beginning since a young age. It's a main thing for the kids. The children are still not full of conditionings. His minds are open and ready to introspect and in a very natural way to apply all these principles that you have mentioned. So thank you for sharing these thoughts on theosophical education that not necessarily we have to do through school, but in our daily lives, as we have mentioned from the beginning, the example, the power of the example, like you lived in your family with your father. So if we as theosophists aim to practice the principles of theosophy in our daily lives, we will be making some contribution to this theosophical education for the society and children and people that surrounds us. So in this order of ideas, thinking of this transformation of humanity, what is the one thing that gives you hope that transformation is possible in humanity?
It is, I would say, the germ of divinity, the self-consciousness, which is implanted in every human being. And this distinguishes man from other animals who have only consciousness. Because of this self-consciousness, transformation is possible. Because animals are only conscious, they are not self-conscious. So in most of us, human beings, it is in a, yes, we can say human beings or even plants and, the lower you go, fine. So even in human beings, it is in a, most of the human beings, it is in a dormant state. But one day, it will be awakened, as it is the birthright of every human being to rise to the highest state of
Totally, yes. I think, as we say, that nobody can change us from outside until unless we want to change ourselves. So, yeah. So that's, I think, and that's why it is said that the human incarnation is so valuable. It is considered that it is even very almost impossible to devas, or so human incarnation is to be utilized for that transformation purpose. So talking about this transformation coming from individual to a bigger level, at a level of society or at a level of nation, I think all of us have studied and seen that there have been so many models like communism, socialism, Marxism, capitalism to transform the life of the people. But none of them has actually been successful. With whichever model has been followed, there have been problems of various kinds. But in this reference, what do you think is the theosophical approach for an individual to be lived towards global problems? Like how can we address individually, theosophically, the global problems at our level?
Yes. Today's world has primarily, I would say primarily, three main problems: environmental crisis, human relationship with other life forms, and wrong educational system. Theosophy in these times is of great practical, social, and political relevance. There are theosophists who are deeply involved in issues like environmental and animal protection, sustainable agriculture, social justice, and holistic education. The first objective of universal brotherhood can be achieved if we understand our interdependence and interconnection with other life forms. We need to believe that our physical, emotional, and spiritual health is determined by our awareness of the quality of our relationships with other human beings, animals, plants, five elements, that is the whole of nature. Theosophy believes in oneness of life. And about education, we have already discussed in one of our question answers, so I need not explain it.
Yes, thank you. And of course, one approach to all this is, as you also have mentioned, the service. And coming back a little bit to your experience as a worker of the Theosophical Order of Service, and based on that experience and that work that you have been making for so long with the TOS, could you share some insights about the challenges and solutions that we can give to TOS for someone who is starting new in this path of the Theosophical life and Theosophical service?
And yes, for any activity, one has to face challenges. We should also know that solutions are there before we find challenges. What I feel is a genuine TOS member should have an earning to serve. If you do something against your wishes or liking, you cannot continue that for long. One should have the empathy, patience, perseverance, commitment, involvement, courage, and the will to provide selfless service to others. So the first thing I would say, it is the willpower, and also the how do I express it? That feeling. It should come from your heart that yes, I'll serve, I'll help this person. Unless it comes from your heart, it is of no value. And another thing is one should spiritualize the service done for others, which means the service is dedicated to the universal self, which is none different from all individual selves. One life, one consciousness, we say in Theosophy. One thing I can tell you from my experience that if we serve without any selfish motive, your work will be definitely successful. There's no doubt about it. I think this is what
I
I've learned.
think you have shared with us the secret of the successful projects that you have done and you are doing and you will be doing in the future, that where there is a will, there is a way. And the very important point that the moment we introduce our selfish motive, that becomes not so, the quality of it goes down and it no longer remains pure. So being, yeah, yeah. So doing it with the pure heart, without any uh, desire for recognition or anything. And since um, the mission of women empowerment is very close to your heart, and I mean, it is one of your, I would not call it projects, I would rather call it your approach to life and mission of life. Could you share with us some of your projects in that direction and the efforts and challenges that you might have faced in them?
Yes. After two heinous incidents of sexual abuse and murder, one in Pipli near Puri in Odisha and the other in Delhi, I became proactive in creating awareness to stop violence against women. It was in 2012. You must, I think, it was a very big event in the sense that uh, what is that Nirvaya case?
Yes, yes.
Do you remember the Nirvaya case?
Yes.
Yes, that was the time. Yeah. So what I did, a, a project was launched by the governor of Odisha, organized by TOS Mahabharat Group, and I was then the president of TOS Mahabharat Group. Then seminars, meetings, workshops were held in different educational institutions and public forums. I got immense support from TOS International also to carry on the project. TOS, USA, Australia, New Zealand, Italy, Canada, and UK came forward to help financially for putting up 7 big billboards with catchy captions and images. In 2014, International TOS declared women empowerment as the international project. In Odisha, we started projects like giving karate training to the inmates for self-defense, inmates of Adruta Children Home, deaf and dumb school children, to the slum girls, and to also students of many educational institutions. Besides this, skill development program was introduced by which the underprivileged girls could learn some vocational training like tailoring, sewing, measure training, footcraft training, nursing training, so that they would be financially independent. Mobile training unit for tailoring was introduced, with which helped the slum ladies to join the course for 4 months at their doorstep. After finishing one slum, the mobile unit, consisting of 5 sewing machines and a lady tailor, moves to another slum. Like that, we had imparted training in 10 slums to around 450 or 500 girls and women. This was, of course, dysfunctional during the COVID time. Now it is being revived. Then International Women's Day is celebrated on March 8th by conferring the Empowered Women of Odisha Award to a deserving lady. One of them was a young disabled tribal girl who is a national award winner and has been selected to play in Olympic Games. We are giving scholarship to 34 girl students for higher education. Some are preparing for engineering, for banking, and even for civil services. Then during the COVID period, with the help of Mindtree, the big company, Mr. Noy, they were given each one a laptop to continue their studies online. Hopefully, next year the number will increase. We have been rehabilitating physically handicapped girls and boys and encouraging them in the unfoldment of their abilities. We had started an old age home for female senior citizens who have been driven out by their family members. In the newly founded Beggars Home, we have contributed sewing machines and appointed girl teacher to teach them both male and female members of that home. In 2015, I had edited a book named Yes, She Can, which is a compilation of 45 articles based on violence against women, women empowerment, rights of women, and also gender equality. Eminent authors from India and abroad contributed articles on the above subjects. Most of them are theosophists. The sale proceeds of this book was utilized for women empowerment projects. We have recently we have founded Samvedana Charity Center like Oxfam in UK and Goodwill Center and what is that Salvation Army in US, where second-hand things are available at a throwaway prices. Things which are not used at home can be donated there, and those who have necessity for these things can buy at a very, very nominal rate. Here also the sale proceeds are being utilized for the higher education of poor and needy girls. A lady has been appointed as the caretaker for the center. Besides this, TOS MB group, that is Mahabharat group, is closely associated with Girls Orphanage, that is Adruta Children Home, and Mission Ashra, that is a home for mentally ill and destitutes. We are also associated with the physically disabled organization Swabhiman and mentally disabled and autistic children's organization Sahai. This is what we are doing.
Yes, this is an endless work, and we are glad, and I think people who is listen to us is glad to know that so much important work is doing for this empowerment of women. Yes, we are in the 21st century, and we know that the spiritual brotherhood make us all equal in essence, as we share the same divine essence, but still something has to do in the material plane to reach this equality and rights for women. And it's amazing that through the Theosophical order of service, this can be done. And thank you and congratulations really for all this inspiring work. And we hope you can continue with this and all the wonderful endeavors that you undergo. As also one of them is that Corona book you edited during the Corona pandemic. You edited a wonderful book on with articles also, because other of your works, fields of action is the editor. You have edited very interesting books along your life, one of which is the book on Corona pandemic, in which also we can see interesting articles from theosophists and eminent authors from all over the world. And could you please share with us how the idea of this book was born, and how was all this process of editing and publishing and getting in touch with the authors and give life to this book? Please, dear Deepa ji.
Yes, it is an interesting question. I remember around second week of April 2021, that is in the first year of pandemic. No, that 2020.
2020.
Yes. I was confronted with two opposite emotions. When I thought about my human family, my human family suffering and dying all over the world, thousands of children being orphans, I felt disturbed and sad. But at the same time, looking at the nature with its pristine beauty, I experienced a kind of blissful joy and peace within. It is difficult to express it now. That gave me a feeling that the pandemic is not all negative. Rather, there are many aspects which are meant for us to learn. I became eager to know the feelings of others. That led me to compile, the different perspectives of the pandemic written by eminent persons from different walks of life, from India across and also across the world. There are articles from different standpoints like scientific, philosophical, theosophical, spiritual, economy, environmental, political, social, and also from the CEOs of multinational companies. I'm sure their analysis will be of immense value for the present and also for future generation. It was really tough, to edit a book, but I don't know, it's all master's grace, I would say, that I could do it. And I feel really happy about it.
And also we feel happy about it also that we got that book, the copy of book in our hands, and as you said, it is of immense value because it has the inputs from so many different aspects, not only scientific, not only spiritual, not only this other negative aspect or positive aspect, and what are the lessons learned, most important from the pandemic. So we are thankful to you for having that book published for all of us. And now coming to a little personal question, because we all know that being in a household, whatever work we do has an effect on our family members, and whatever family members do have an effect on us. And there is like a mutual love and duty and things that go hand in hand. But the kind of work that you do and the amount of work that you do, would you kindly share with us about your family? Because without the support of them, I think it will be very challenging to do so many projects of social welfare all the time.
It's true. My husband, I would say, is a silent supporter of my activities, as he knows what it means to serve others, as he is a Rotarian since 1975 and past district governor of Rotary International in 1996-97. So, of course, being a lady and a wife, I have to look after the household activities. But besides that, uh, I do this TS and TOS work uh, with the support of my husband, without which I could not have, done what I'm doing. I always say that. And I would say that my son and daughters-in-law and two granddaughters, they are my great supporters, and they are also TOS members. They stay in US, and they do a lot. They contribute, and they do philanthropic works there also in US. I'm therefore proud of my family members, because without their support, I could not have done what I'm doing now.
It's beautiful to see how the family is not only a source of support, but also of inspiration, and you have built a beautiful a theosophical family environment for the welfare of all humanity and all who surround you. Thanks for this sharing. This is very, very valuable. And well, as we are in a more personal plane of yours. And also we are reaching the end of this wonderful dialogue, for which we thank you a lot for accepting this invitation, for sharing with us, for inspiring us through your words, and that are the reflection of your work. We would like to know on a more personal note, what are Deepa Padhi's hobbies? What does she like? What is she interested for, apart from all that you already have mentioned in terms of work? But what are your personal hobbies?
My hobbies are, to read philosophical, theosophical, spiritual literature, write articles, and gardening. I really like spending some time with the nature, with the plants, with the flowers, with the birds, with the butterflies. That gives me a lot of pleasure. And I do that every day, even for, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I do that. This is what I don't get much.
Yes. Yes. I think that being with nature gives you so much tremendous energy and vitality that keeps you going the whole day. And
That's true.
yeah, and especially gardening and seeing the things coming up, growing in itself is a very enriching experience. And thank you. That was really, it has been a pleasure and honor to talk to you in such a manner and to know more about you, because so many people don't know about all the work that you do, how you got inspired, and how you are doing other projects. So I think this will give them some inspiration and insights and help them direct in their direction of their path. Katrina, would you like to say something?
Yeah. I wish, or we wish you have, you can continue, life continue blessing you and giving you all this wisdom and energy to continue doing all this important work. And once more, thank you. Thank you very much for your sharing and for being here with
Thank you.
us in a lovely, lovely cup of theosophy with you.
Thank you very much. So we today with the last sip of
Cheers.
tea.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, I will stop the recording now.
Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome back, everyone. And we hope that all of you must have got some valuable points, some pearls of wisdom, inspiration, motivation, not only in the work of TS or TOS, but in life as in general. Because that was Dr. Deepa Padhi with us, sharing with us her personal journeys, the challenges, and how Theosophy helped her in the in dealing with those challenges in the life. So we really extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Deepa Padhi, accepting our request for being in this a cup of tea or Sophie, and because this is the last session of the Pragya CS studio for this season, and we will continue to share theosophical teachings and principles in some other ways, but for some time we will be stopping this Sunday evening gatherings. So we also extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our supporters, benefactors, and for all your love and good wishes that you have been sending all through this time. And we are looking forward to receiving the same, and we hope and we'll try to share with you in the future also the quality content and the Theosophical teachings in simple manner. And now, if any one of you would like to say anything about Dr. Deepa Padhi's sharing, or if you want to convey your wishes, although she is here, but I think she is outside, not at her house. That's why we had to record this interview beforehand, because she was, not sure whether she'll be available and the signal, Wi-Fi signal, will be good or not. So that's why we recorded it, and she was very kind to accept the proposal, and today we played that thing. So I request anyone, if you want to say anything, please, you can now unmute yourself, and you can share something if you want. And yeah, Firoza Zinu Masterji has written, thanks for the enlightening and thought-provoking session. Sister Jasmine, such an interesting discussion. Brother Charlie from Philippines, thank you and blessings to everyone. Dr. Sushma Srivastav saying, very heart-touching question and answer session. Thanks a lot, Deepa Padiji. Archana ji has written, best wishes. Thanks for such an enriching interview. And Taral Munshi ji, thanks for your motivational exchange for life journey. So anybody else who would like to share anything, most welcome. Okay, and if there are no comments, somebody wants to speak, Galaxy M12, I do not recognize the name. Okay. Otherwise, let's proceed for the closing of this session with the prayers. And really, we extend heartfelt gratitude again to our delegates who joined today's session with a cup of tea or coffee or lemonade, whatever is suited to you best. And we look forward to your continued support. Thank you for sharing your time with us. And thank you once again, Dr. Deepa Padiji, for being with us during this time. So let us all come together and once again and share this sense, this feeling of brotherliness, friendship, and joy on this World Environment Day, using all our willpower and thought power for the welfare of the whole manifestation. I'll say it in Sanskrit, the meaning of which is, may everywhere be wholeness, may every place be peaceful, may every thing feels the beneficence, and everyone be happy, healthy, and in harmony. Oh. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, Sarvesham shantir bhavatu, Sarvesham purnam bhavatu, Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, Sarve santu niramaya, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you once again, everyone. Wishing you health, happiness, and harmony for the week ahead, month ahead, and for the life ahead. See you once again. We don't know when, but definitely. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you, Shikhar ji. Thank you, Katrina ji.
Thank you, Shikhar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you on behalf of Catalina and myself, all of us. Yeah. Okay, so I'm ending the meeting now. Take care. Stay safe. Yeah.
Hello.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shikhar भैया.
Yes, Dr. Kamal ji. Yes. Final comments. Yes.
कि मैं लगा नहीं पा रही थी. एक्चुअली आपने कप ऑफ टी नहीं, कप ऑफ बहुत अफेक्शन, लव एंड मतलब थियोसॉफिकल एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड हर पर्सनल लाइफ एज यू सी एज मतलब given her whole heart. Actually, she was
Yes.
from the heart. So it
Yes.
was so delightful. Because सचमुच it's a good experience not only, but I remember the 65, 67 years old thing when in the class when I was a student of 12th or 12th or 12th means in college 12th at that time. So just our professor asked us to speak something to every student, and then 2 or 3 students started speaking something, and I was one of them to speak on love, live and let live.
Oh, okay.
So I remember, though I've gone in the past, and it was so beautiful. She experienced and she said about many things, and we are also connected in Jodhpur with many things.
Things.
And many, so I was very much impressed. Not only impressed, I was delighted.
Okay.
I was very much delighted, and I want to share many things that I can thank her. I can just gratitude, give my pleasing gratitude to her, and they got the great pleasure actually. So, and I want to actually thank you yourself and Katrina. I'm very much pleased to see you people. And
thank you for your love and affection.
बहुत अच्छा लगता है मुझको, सच बताऊं। और जिंदगी में किस तरीके से हम लोग ऑर्फन्स को और किस एक एक चीज वो स्टेप बता रही थी, मुझे ही लग रहा था किस तरीके से रामानाचार्य जी के साथ में हमने भुवाली में किस तरीके से पहली बार इतना इम्प्रेस होके, और अच्छा लगा मुझे पहली बार। मतलब कि हालांकि थियोसॉफी में काफी पहले से थी, परंतु उस समय मुझे अचानक वो विवेक चूड़ामणि का उन्होंने बताया था, और तब से बहुत इंटरेस्ट डेवलप हुआ। तो इस तरीके से किस तरह थियोसॉफी में किस तरीके से लोगों को करते रहे, किस तरीके से आंखों को डोनेट कराते रहे, इवन बॉडीज डोनेट करते रहे लोग, हम लोग ये सब काम जो करते रहे, तो हमको बहुत अच्छा लगा। मैंने कहा वो बिल्कुल हार्ट से बोल रही थी।
Yes.
तो इतना अच्छा लगा मुझे कि मैं क्या बताऊं। और आप प्रज्ञा वाला ये कब तक रहेगा बंद? मेरे लिए तो ये घंटा ही एक इवनिंग बहुत ब्यूटीफुल इवनिंग।
नहीं बिल्कुल, हम लोग कुछ ना कुछ करते रहेंगे, बट अभी कुछ समय के लिए 2-3 महीने के लिए थोड़ा
ज्यादा काम रहेगा।
यस
काम भी बहुत
ठीक है। और कन्वेंशन भी आने वाला है, तो एवरीबॉडी इज इनवाइटेड फॉर कन्वेंशन।
कहना चाहती हूँ आपसे कि इस बार अगर ये अपन इस पे नहीं करके और सचमुच में कोई एनुअल सेशन करना चाहते हैं, तो क्या आप आ सकेंगे क्या?
हाँ, मैं आपसे फोन पे बात करता हूँ आंटी, अलग से। जी जी हाँ जी
जी दोनों हैं, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगेगा।
नहीं ठीक।
उदयपुर में करना चाहते हैं हम लोग, परंतु
हम लोग बात करेंगे आंटी फोन पे अलग से। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू एवरीवन। एंजॉय, टेक केयर एंड स्टे सेफ। नमस्कार।